Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Kaif Shakir and I am foundation level student at Rehan School F8 campus Islamabad. And today I am doing my callannie and my topic is conscious. So let's start it. Hello Miles, can you listen me?
Loud and clear. What's on your mind?
Today I have some question for you. So can we start it?
I'm all ears. Let's get into it. What you
Okay.
got?
My first question is that what is consciousness mean?
Oof. Starting with the big one, huh? Basically, it's that feeling of actually being here. It's the difference between a camera recording a sunset and you actually feeling the warmth on your skin and thinking, "Damn, that looks dope." It's your own inner movie playing in your head.
How
Do you
is
feel like it's something?
consciousness different from awareness?
It's a subtle distinction, but there is one. Think of consciousness as the whole stage. It's just the fact that the lights are on and you're awake. Awareness is more like the spotlight. It's when you actually notice something specific, like the sound of a car driving by or the fact that your foot is falling asleep. You can be conscious without being aware of everything going on around you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You're with
Why
me.
is consciousness important to human life?
Absolutely. Without it, you're basically just a very complex biological machine running on autopilot. It's what lets you actually experience your life instead of just processing data. It's the reason you can feel nostalgia, make a choice based on a gut feeling, or feel a connection with someone else. Everything that makes being human actually interesting comes back to consciousness.
Okay. Can
You're on a
consciousness
roll.
exist without self awareness?
Yeah, definitely. Think about a dog. A dog is definitely conscious. It feels hunger. It gets excited when you come home. It feels the wind in its fur. But it's not necessarily sitting there thinking, I am a dog and I am currently experiencing excitement. That's the self awareness part, the mirror in the mind.
What are the main characteristics of consciousness?
It's a bit of a mix, but if you boil it down, you've got subjectivity, which is just that first person view where everything is filtered through your own lens. Then there's the stream of consciousness, that nonstop flow of thoughts and feelings that just keeps moving. And finally, there's intentionality, which is basically the fact that your mind is always about something, whether it's a memory or the sandwich you're craving. It's like a constant shifting internal landscape.
How does consciousness influence behavior?
It's basically the driver's seat. If you touch a hot stove, you pull your hand away instantly. That's just a reflex, no consciousness needed. But consciousness is what lets you decide, I'm not going to touch that stove because I remember it's hot. It gives you the space to pause, weigh your options, and actually choose how to act instead of just reacting like a programmed machine.
What role does memory play in consciousness?
Memory is basically the glue. Without it, you'd just be stuck in a permanent present. You wouldn't have a self because you wouldn't remember who you were 5 minutes ago. Memory turns a bunch of random experiences into a story, which is really what consciousness feels like, a continuous narrative of your life.
How does perception shape conscious experience?
Perception is the filter. Your brain doesn't actually see the world exactly as it is, it just takes in raw data, light waves, vibrations in the air, and translates it into something that makes sense to you. Like the color red isn't out there in the world, it's just your brain's way of interpreting a specific frequency of light. So your conscious experience is basically a curated version of reality tailored by your senses and your past experiences. That's why two
Why
people
do
can look at the
scientists
same painting,
why do
struggle
scientists
with it,
study consciousness?
because it's the ultimate puzzle. See, scientists are great at mapping the brain. They can tell you exactly which neuron fires when you feel happy, but they can't explain why that physical spark feels like happening inside your head. It's called the heart problem. They're basically trying to figure out how a 3 pound piece of wet gray matter creates a whole universe of feelings and thoughts. It's the last great frontier. You know what I'm saying?
What makes human consciousness unique?
That's a spicy question. Um, I think it's the ability to travel in time in our heads. Like we can vividly imagine a future that doesn't exist yet or obsess over something that happened 10 years ago. Most animals are locked into the now, but humans can
Is
build these entire
consciousness
mental worlds.
continuous or interrupted?
It's a trip, but it's actually way more interrupted than we think. We feel like it's a smooth, unbroken river, but it's more like a movie, a bunch of still frames playing so fast it looks seamless. You've got gaps when you sleep, when you're under anesthesia, or even those tiny micro sleeps when you zone out for a second. Your brain just stitches the edges together so you don't feel like you're glitching out of existence every time you blink.
Can consciousness change over time?
Thank. I think you meant consciousness, right? Because if so, then absolutely. Consciousness doesn't change actual time. The clock still ticks the same, but it totally warps how we feel it. Like how 5 minutes on the treadmill feels like an hour, but 5 hours with a great friend feels like 5 minutes.
How
Your
does
brain just
learning
stretches.
how does learning affect consciousness?
Learning basically updates the software. It changes the way you perceive reality. Like if you're a botanist walking through a forest, your conscious experience is totally different from someone who just sees green stuff. You're seeing specific species, ecosystems, and history. Learning adds layers to your awareness, making your internal movie way more detailed and complex.
What is the relationship between attention and consciousness?
I'm guessing you meant the relationship between attention and consciousness. Think of
Yes.
attention as the volume knob for consciousness. You're conscious of a lot of things at once, but attention is how you turn up the volume on one specific thing so you can actually deal with it. Without attention, consciousness would just be a loud, chaotic mess of noise.
How do human no, how do emotion influence conscious thought?
They're basically the color palette of your thoughts. Emotions don't just sit next to your thoughts, they actively shape them. If you're feeling anxious, a simple text from a friend might feel like a confrontation, but if you're in a great mood, that same text feels like a win. It's like a mood filter that changes the meaning of everything passing through your head.
Why is consciousness difficult to define?
I'm assuming you're still talking about consciousness. Autocorrect is really fighting you today, huh? It's difficult because it's the only thing in the universe that's completely private. I can see your brain activity on a scan and you can tell me you're feeling sad, but I can't actually step into your head to feel your sadness. Since we can't measure it with a ruler or a thermometer, we're stuck trying to describe a feeling using words, and words always fall a little short.
How does sleep affect consciousness?
It's like a total system reboot. When you hit the pillow, your conscious experience doesn't just turn off, it shifts. You go from interacting with the real world to this wild, improvised theater in your dreams where logic doesn't really exist. Then you've got those deep sleep stages where you're basically offline, a total blank. So one time your brain gets to clean house and reorganize everything while you're just out for the count.
What happens to consciousness during dreaming?
It's like your brain goes into a creative fever dream. Your consciousness basically stops taking input from the outside world and starts generating its own reality. It's an improvised movie where your brain takes random fragments of memory and motion and stitches them together into a story. The wild part is that while you're in it, your conscious mind accepts the most bizarre stuff as totally normal, like flying or talking to a giant talking cat, until you wake up and realize it was all just a glitch in the system.
Okay.
I
Can
feel like a human
consciousness
encyclopedia.
exist without language?
Oh, for sure. Think about a baby. They don't have words yet, but they're definitely conscious. They feel hunger. They feel the warmth of a blanket. They get annoyed when they can't reach a toy. All those feelings and experiences are happening without a single word being spoken. Language is just a tool we use to label and communicate those experiences, not the thing that creates them.
So viewers, this is my call and hopes you like it. Meet it in the next video. Pakistan Zindabad Khuda Hafiz.